Focus. It's what every athlete needs to succeed. But for tonight's top seed, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard, 10 frames of focus is what she feels she needs to capture her third LPBT title in the finals of the Southern Virginia Open next.
Samstown Hotel, Gambling Hall, and Bowling Center presents the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour. Today we're in Danville, Virginia for the first time. Welcome to Country Club Lanes for the finals of the Southern Virginia Open. Hi everyone, I'm Jan Schmidt. Thanks for tuning in. We have a wide range of experience on our telecast this week. Let me tell you a little bit about them. First, in our number 5 position, it's just her third telecast ever. It's Kris Hall in the number 4 spot. It's her 7th appearance this year, Wendy Macpherson. And qualifying third, she's been absent from TV for nearly a year, Jackie Mitskavitch. In the number 2 position, it's Michelle Feldman, and she's a relative rookie on tour. It's only her 3rd year. In the top spot, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard, making her 4th straight telecast. And working with me once again, Coach Fred Borden. Fred, variety would be the key again this week.
Yes, Jen, we've run the gamut as far as players are concerned. We have 2 players of the hottest players on tour. We have the big crank style. We have the accuracy style. It will be fun to see how it unfolds here this evening.
Well, it should be interesting. And our first player, lacking a little of that experience, not making a show since 1994, Kris Hall.
She's our non-winner. And I know, in talking with her last night, Jan, as you know, there's nothing more that she liked to put beside her name than the word champion.
Well, another lady looking for this championship. She's in the middle of the Bowler of the Year race. Very comfortable on TV. It's Wendy Macpherson.
And this is her 7th show, and her worst finish in all 10 weeks is 11th. I think that speaks for itself.
It certainly does. A lady who's been around that 11th position a lot but hasn't made the telecast lately. It's Jackie Mitskavitch.
Consistency and accuracy should be her first and second name. And I'm sure here today she's going to try to climb that ladder.
Well, if she does climb the ladder, she's going to face Michelle Feldman. And Fred, power's probably her middle game, but right now she's working on experience.
The biggest crank ball player in women's bowling in the history of our sport. And she's got one thing to watch. That's her accuracy. That will be the key. If she has accuracy on her spares, she could be hard to beat.
Well, the lady at the top of the field that she would have to beat if she advances is one of the best spare shooters on television.
Wendy's up in the 7th frame right now. By virtue of that washout, she leads by 1 pin. And with that 9 count, we'll have an even match.
Right to the pin, but you can see she arced that ball a little bit, hit that little hang spot. So you can see how treacherous they are out there. It's premium shot making out here on the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour. It's not like when we play league play where we have a lot of oil in the middle and dry on the edges where you can throw it out to the right and it always hooks back. Out here it doesn't do that.
Again, covering the spare. The ladies went through, at least Wendy did, went through a lot of equipment this week. She said she used 15 or 16 balls. There you see the score, all even.
And that unbelievable. She used 10 during qualifying, and she, you know, the trick there is that she just kept at it till she figured it out, and she kept making the change. Then she got it down to about 3 or 4 bowling balls that she used in match play, and that's why she made it to the telecast.
See her average up 2 pins this year over last year. Last year she was Bowler of the Year and second high in average.
Oh. You can see she moved parallel right there. She moved her feet right and her eyes right. She said, well, let me get out and go up the oil and try to make it flip, and it still hit that slick spot and slid right by the pocket, and there's funny pin action again. That was a funny 8-10.
It was. Well, 2-8-10 actually up. 2 pin fell at the last minute.
Watch this shot here. When it gets into the midsection lane here, right past the rangefinders, you'll see right here now, it's still skidding. See it rotating sideways or sideways. Never. Now it starts, but it was too late.
Now, in most of the pairs, the players that could hook the ball like a Wendy could be left and throw right and get it back. Several of us played farther right than that, almost pointing the ball up. So there were basically 2 different lines you could play.
Little London Bridge is there. She almost missed the head pin. Yeah. It looked like she's going to leave a cluster, and then all of a sudden she had 9.
You know, really, they're both struggling out there, but breaks seem to be going Kris's way at this point in time. She leads by 13 pins.
I think the key now is the person that can stay down in the shot and get it off their hand real clean and roll the ball instead of pull up on it and throw it out on the lane. See there, as soon as you do that, the ball skids.
Oh, my. Well, this is certainly not indicative of what these players did all week. They're really struggling, and Fred, once you start struggling, once you are afraid to let the ball right, it's very hard to execute and make a good shot.
And that big word, momentum, now Kris is up by 2. And, it's making for an interesting match, 2 pins, but I'm sure neither one of them are thinking it's too interesting.
I don't think either one really knows where to go. They're moving, and it's tough. You have 10 frames, and you have to move because you know you're going to die where you're at.
And they seem a little slicker here today than they've been all week long, to my eye. I don't know. You played on the lanes, but they look a little slicker here today.
As they do right now.
Humidity changes, things change, and the way the lanes are cleaned every day, it's really a touchy situation. It's very difficult to make lanes identical day after day. It's impossible, really, isn't it?
It is, and I know the carry down was, for me, very extensive. From the first couple of games, it changed a lot. But again, you're moving pair to pair when we're bowling, so it's difficult to judge. Wendy Light again. Maybe they need a little more surface on their balls.
Yeah, they could use a sanded bowling ball, something here that would grab the lane. See, this ball still is rotating. It never grabs the lane surface. Therefore, it was way late when it did grab, come in the back door, left the 2-8.
Your spare ball.
Great cover. She just moved it right, just roped it right at it. It's a great lesson for everyone. Don't hook the ball on the spares. All you got to do is touch it with the ball.
Most people feel that if there's double wood, a pin behind another pin, that they need to hook the ball at it. On today's lane conditions, you often get in trouble. You may miss it a few times throwing a ball that goes straight because it may back up a hair or not quite take out the back pin, but I found I make it more that way than using my strike ball.
Exactly. Accuracy is a key on all spares, and especially when they're sleepers. And what I like to think of and have our athletes for years and people we work with is to think of the back pin, not the front pin. If you hit the back pin in the face, you'll mow that front one right down.
Well, the delay right here is some pins had fallen on lane 18, the opposite lane that Wendy's on, so they were clearing them off before she stood up to bowl her next frame. Actually, her 10th frame right now.
Now she squared it up, and that ball took off and went left. So if you're left of the target, it hooks. If you're right of the target, it hangs. I think what's going to happen is you'll see the player that moves farther to the left and plays a little more inside, away from that hang spot. That'll be the key.
Wendy has 154 in the 9th right now. Oh, my. 163, final score for Wendy. All Kris is going to need is some pin count, very low pin count.
Will stay behind the foul line. She goes 7, and 7 out would be the only way that Wendy could win. She gets 8, and 8 out, that's 164. So she needs 8 pins on this ball here.
2 balls, really. She's on a strike.
Exactly.
There it is.
Made that down a little quicker. Now with the roll. You have to roll it when the lanes are slick, especially when there's a hang spot. You cannot hang your thumb in the ball and flip the ball. You've got to lay it and roll it, and they were slicker here today than they have been.
Wendy finishes up in 5th, $2,500. But again, continuing to knock on that door and make the Telecast.
Unbelievable, Jan. We all know how hard that is to do.
Kris Hall appears to be lined up. I'm sure she's going to need it for the next match. It beats Wendy Macpherson Papanos, and we'll move on to face Jackie Mitskavitch next. You're watching the Southern Virginia Open. We're in Danville, Virginia at Country Club Lanes. Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour in our first match. Kris Hall defeated Wendy Macpherson Papanos by a score of 197 to 163. She's now moved on to her second match and will take on Jackie Mitskavitch. Kris Hall starting the match again.
Right on that left lane. Let's see if she can get it off her hand clean. If she can get it off her hand clean, her ball will react. If she lofts the lane, the ball will slide right by the pocket. You can see she struck 3 times on each lane. So that was equal. So it's into her release. Let her roll. The ball reacted to the pocket.
That was a much better shot. It seemed like she found something, Fred, there in the 9th and 10th frames. I don't know if it was just moving around the lane or getting relaxed.
Just getting her feel, got her legs under her a little bit, got her nerves settled down, but I think she started cleaning the release a little bit better.
Right now she's asking for deadwood to be removed. 1997, her best finish 17th, so she's really improved this week. However, she's been making the cuts.
Yeah, there's that pin there. There it is. Got it out of the way. It's illegal to shoot the spare because that you could nip the front pin. It could roll over, hit that deadwood, and bounce back up and knock the 7 down. Well, that would be an illegal shot.
Exactly. She's going to use her spare ball. She shoot at this. She learned her lesson. She slid by a 7-10 earlier. Covered it nicely. For those of you who saw her walk away and come back, she went to get her spare ball on the pair adjacent to 17 and 18. She's allowed to stay loose while the player coming on warms up on the pair they're bowling on. And that's Jackie Mitskavitch, age 39 years pro.
1989, she won the gold and silver medal in the Olympic Festival in 89.
Last show a year ago, Franklin, Virginia. That ball jumping pretty hard.
A little tilt and rotation of the axis there, we call it, huh? Just watch this ball flip at the pins. Here we are with that 5-step approach. It's a short first step, then pushes the ball out on 2. Full extension, big swing. Left arm out for balance now. Watch this release. Really come up through the shot. And when you throw it that good, you hit those fingers. Watch this ball flip. Flipping and tripping the 4.
Now she just went to that 5-step approach. There's a 218 average, highest average of the field, as you said in the Open. She went to that 5-step a couple years back because she was having trouble getting started. There's that hook when she didn't get it.
You just talked about it, getting started. See, she has that trouble getting the ball in motion. In fact, I hate to say anything, but you know, in her 4-step delivery, she got to where she couldn't get started.
Right, exactly.
You see, she's dead left of her target. She was in about 16, and she's playing 11-12. So that's when your shoulders turn closed. You throw the ball left.
Now, she said that since the 5-step, she has been able to start, but her timing's been off a lot.
It's a real fight for her to keep that timing every day.
Left again. But it's a spare ball. Doesn't hook. She was fine.
All of our ladies on the telecast know that there's that hook spot out there. Now, what I'll predict is probably that our leader will be way out to the right, Carolyn going up the hold spot, and if she bowls our hook ball player, she'll be into the left going around it. So let's see how that unfolds.
Was a nice shot.
That was a heavy roll ball. If you watch that ball go through the pins, it went right over top of the 8 pin. Watch this ball finish through the pins. When you go up through it like that, she didn't rotate and spin. She lifted through, and watch this ball as it goes through the pocket. Watch where it goes, right over top of the 8.
Even match through 2 frames. Kris, you know, does a lot. As you mentioned, 6 regional titles. She bowls the regional programs all the time and is very successful. She's been on the national tour for 7 years. She's a member of the Chicago and Illinois Hall of Fames.
She works with a great Bill Stegner in Chicago on her game, and that's what helps her throw shots like that. Bill's one of the best coaches in the world of bowling. Won on the Pro Bowlers Tour. He's been a studier of our sport, of bowling balls, equipment, of the biomechanics, of movement of the body, of the mental game. He's really a great coach, and she says that he has really helped her.
And Jackie defeated Kris Hall during the week, 245 to 176 in match play.
When you roll it that good, it rolls right around that oil like it's not there when it's got the good roll to it. And that's when you get the thumb out clean and you roll. The swing just goes right on through. Now, if you grab it and flip it, then it helicopters and spins on that oil.
Jackie trails by 10. Kris has a double in there. But Jackie working on a strike. She could even it up with a strike here. We mentioned that she's been in the middle of the pack a lot, but hasn't been making shows. But she's made 9, she's bowled 9 of the 10 events, and she's made all the cuts except doubles, which
That's
is
saying
a good
something.
job.
Yes, she was 11th at the Clabber Girl Open in Terre Haute earlier in the year. Needs this to put pressure back on.
Oh. And to the left on that lane again.
Now, Jackie's ball seems to be hooking more than Wendy's, a lot more than Kris's. She's getting that ball to turn over, so it looks like she can go around the pocket a little bit. Her ball's standing up and turning over.
So she needs to trust it right.
Exactly.
Right.
She saw those players throwing that out of bounds there, and there's an OB out there, so...
She covers the spare nicely. Kris Hall leads by 10 pins through 3 frames. We'll have more from the Southern Virginia Open in a moment. Jackie Mitskavitch leads by 6 pins now. She's working on a strike. We bowled through 2.5 frames. Kris Hall left a solid 8-pin on a double, spared it, and then left the 2, 5, 7. Tough spare, took out 1 pin. Jackie Mitskavitch struck on the 5th frame, and now that was live, striking in the 6th frame, increasing her lead to 16 pins.
You can see she let that ball out around. That ball made a nice move right toward the pocket. Flush for a key double right here. Put some real pressure here on Kris.
Tide seemed to turn a little bit for Kris, making that great shot, leaving the 8-pin, and then taking 1 out of that spare, a little unusual.
She took the 2 right off the 5.
Comes back with a strike, though. Great recovery. Well, the race for the LPBT Bowler of the Year heats up as Liz Johnson, Wendy Macpherson Papanos, and Carolyn Dorin-Ballard and the rest of the Lady Pro Bowlers Tour compete in the 1997's richest tournament, the $150,000 AMF Gold Cup from Hanover Lanes in Richmond, Virginia. Check your local listings next week for time and channel for all the exciting action on the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour. Make sure you're with us.
That's the big one, 25,000 first. Be a nice week for one of the ladies.
Kris trailing by 16 pins. You got to look at the scoreboard quick there for 6. Unfortunate to break up a split on that shot. She's shaking her head. She's not comfortable with her shot out there. Therefore, it's difficult when you have to be exact.
You have to thread the needle, yes. Wonder if she got her good luck kisses from her 2 puppies today, Snickers and Sparky, huh? She got to get those good luck kisses before she bowls every day.
I'll bet she yanks them out of there to make sure. Well, Jackie Mitskavitch leads by 16 pins. It's the conclusion of this match when we return. Jackie up in the 7th frame, leading by 16 pins, working on a double.
Collegiate Bowler of the Year in 86, 87, and 87, 88, back-to-back. And she didn't do that very often, being Collegiate Bowler of the Year twice. Boy, did that ball snap hard. I think she's amazed. I'm amazed, Jan, that ball is snapping that hard at the pocket.
Well, we saw one earlier, actually her first shot of the match. Jumped pretty hard, but she tripped the 4-pin out. That one just a little bit more back-end reaction.
Open that door back up for Kris. Yeah, she pulled that ball across, that spare ball that doesn't hook, and she almost made that split.
She was going for it.
She really was.
But lost pin count because she was on a strike. That cost her 2 extra pins, and the match is now even.
Exactly. Those 2, that could be 2 big pins here at the end of this match in the next 3 frames. Let's see what happens.
A lesson to learn. We've talked about it before, but you have to make a decision, and she made, I'm sure, a conscious decision what she wanted to do there.
Playing aggressive.
You can see it all even. She strikes on that shot in the 8th. There was an error. Actually, Kris Hall has a 1-pin lead because of Jackie only taking 1 on that, going for the 4-7-10.
Well, now, Jackie's got a strike set up here in the 8th. This is a big shot here. If she gets 9, it will be dead even. If she gets the strike, then she's got 1 working also.
Camera angle, and there's that 9 count. You called it with the spare. We'll have an even match. You were talking about her puppies, and I'm sure she yanked them out of there. She told us she won't leave to bowl around until she gets a kiss from them, and sometimes they aren't real cooperative.
Especially if she's been bowling all day and she's left them in the motorhome, and then she goes out, and they sort of want to ignore her when she gets ready to go back out to play again. They're a big part of her life. could hear that ball hit the thumb hole. She flattened it out. Now she's got oil on the lane. She's got a shiny ball, plus she flattened it out. And you miss those one-pin spares. And I can't tell you how often we do that today compared to years ago with the oil spots. And only now watch this ball skid. It just skids 61 foot right past the 2-pin.
Now she trails by 11 pins, comes right back with the strike.
Now that's saying something to that young lady right there. To get up there and miss a spare. Hasn't been on the show since '94. And then to come right back and set up the what we call the working strike, the one in the 9th, so she can go out in the 10th. She can still shoot 200, Jen.
Well, Jackie's up by 11 pins. There you see her best finish, 11th in Terre Haute, Indiana.
Wow, what a good shot that was.
She was firm with that shot.
We talked about her back-to-back Collegiate Bowler of the Year at Penn State. She's bowled the international stuff in the Olympic festivals and won gold medals, silver medals. This lady has been a great player for a long time. I think she's better than she gets credit for. I think she's really a fine player. She's got great focus. I love the way she focuses when she plays. She never seems to get rattled, Jen. She stays right on top of her game.
She needs a strike here to shut out Kris Hall. If she would go 9 spare strikes, she could shoot 202. We could have a top. And that pretty much does it. She'll just need to keep the ball in the lane.
Tripped that 4-pin. You saw that ball went up high, but it hit the carry down in a held pocket. I was surprised that ball didn't turn over a little bit more, but it held pocket when it hit that carry down. Kris finishes 4th, makes 2,800 this week. Not a bad week, young lady. Be proud of yourself. Maybe a little tester. She pulled that first shot and threw it up. She says, well, let me throw one up there again and test it out and see what happens.
That was all she needed. 5 count. That right now, without throwing another shot, it's 203. Best Kris could do is 202.
Exactly.
Jackie Mitskavitch defeats Kris Hall by coming up. Fred Borden on how to beat the oil. Don't miss that tip. Stay with us. Final score of our second match was Jackie Mitskavitch 206 to Kris Hall's 202. Jackie Mitskavitch now advances to our semifinal match against Michelle Feldman. Everyone, he's the proud winner of one of the Pro-Ams. There's a look at all the Pro-Am winners from this year, along with the owner of the center, Chico Valence.
Mitskavitch beat Feldman 203 to 236. Watch this ball react. That is power personified right there.
And right off the bat, a 7-pin.
It's as clean as you can get it off your thumb and off your hand, and just that big, heavy roll. This lady is exciting to watch throw a bowling ball. We talk about John Daly in golf. I'll tell you, I just really love to watch the electricity and the power she puts on that roll, that ball.
She averaged 217.42. She's going to shoot her spares on the left with her strike ball. Interesting, Michelle's grandfather's here, both grandfather and grandmother, Gary and Linda Feldman. Her grandfather is mic'd. So listen for someone in the background talking. That's Michelle's grandfather.
He's also her sponsor.
Jackie's lane breakdown. 4 strikes on 17, 3 on 18, 1 open on 17. So really not a lot of difference between the two for her. Well, that's the lane she's been jumping high on.
She got that ball out a little farther right. She'd rather come light now than to throw it up through the nose. So she got that off her hand pretty clean. That was a pretty good shot. Just didn't rack quite early enough, so it went a little past the pocket.
She's going to take her spare ball, go straight at it, no problem.
Perfect.
And I talked to Jackie, you know, she's been married a year now, and what are her future plans for bowling?
I plan to stop bowling on the tour full-time very shortly. I'm interested in starting a family with my husband, Tom, and but I don't see me ever quitting bowling and on the tour for good.
Well, she'll be involved in bowling one way or another. Her husband, Tom's family owns Du Bois Lanes, and I'm sure she'll be involved with that if she does quit to some degree. Now coming high, 3-6-10.
But usually is what happens, Jane. You let one go a little bit out around the pocket, comes in a little light, you make a little adjustment. Sometimes you don't even move your feet. It's an adjustment you make in your subconscious. You don't even consciously make the adjustment, but it happens.
Well, Jackie's been trying to open up the lane more this week. She had really tried to close up, go straighter up the boards, because she felt that was better for the conditions we were bowling on. But the last couple of weeks, she didn't do as well that way, so this week she came out and said, I'm going to open it up.
Said her strike percentage is a little better. She's putting a little more on the ball than she used to. And when she gets to the 1-3 pocket, the pin action's a little more live. Talking about pin action, let's watch this right here. Some of you guys at home that think you can put something on it, come on out and watch Michelle in person. It's really fun. Watch this roll.
She yelled set. She wanted that ball to sit up.
Well, the old saying, you live by the hook, you die by the hook. She throws open frames, but she throws strikes. And there's different ways to average 215. You can do it by throwing 8 strikes a game and throwing an open or 2. Or you can throw it by throwing 3 or 4 strikes a game, having a couple of doubles with no opens.
Only takes 2 there. But I talked to Michelle. How she learned to have that big, powerful release. It's interesting. Listen to this.
Bowling with the guys. When I was younger, I always bowled with the guys, and I'd try to hook them. I mean, that's what you have to do when you bowl against guys. They think girls can't bowl, so when you go out there, you know you can hook the ball, go after it, and you beat them, and then they feel bad. I like beating. I mean, I said I like beating them. It's just that sometimes guys will think girls can bowl, and then when they put their foot in their mouth, I put them in their place, pretty much.
She put those pins in their place, too, with that shot. Did you see that? The pins come off that wall. I mean, those pins just went out of here.
Gentlemen at home, you know who she's talking about.
Watch this pin action. Just watch this. This ball's out to the 5 board. Here it comes. It makes the move. Look at that head pin coming across, turning and twisting. That is power, ladies and gentlemen.
Coming light, lucky to trip out the 7. I mean, almost a 7-10. She's trying to figure out right now. She's trying to get lined up because it seems if she doesn't open up enough, it's hooking too much. When she does, she gets to that hang area. It's coming in too late.
Exactly. Move far to the left. Go to the 4th arrow. Move closer to the 3rd.
Ooh, I wasn't sure if that was going to hang on.
That was a good. She looked like she leaked a little bit, but she come right up through it. That good follow-through in our sport will save you a lot of times. Even though you miss your mark by a few boards, the good follow-through puts the ball toward the destination.
Jackie leading by 12 pins. There, you had commented, Fred. She defeated Michelle Feldman, 236 to 203 in position round.
Early turn, get that into the swing, and then turned it before she got the ball to her ankle at the bottom of the swing. She turned it early, the ball went left. You can see this arm here bounce out and turn early, so the ball went left of the target. Now see, it never got out to the hook point. It was going toward the head pin all the way down the lane, right through the nose. She's lucky to lead the 3-6-10. It's much easier than that double beat.
Here's her spare ball. Ooh. Almost hooked a little bit. That's why you use a spare ball.
No flip on the back end. That ball just kept hanging straight on line. So you need that straight ball for accuracy, especially on those spares where we have more than one pin. Jenny, that ball flips down there and you chop it. The old chop is because we've got the big hook.
High game and low game was up there. 279 was her high. I believe 158 was the low. She trails by 9 pins right now with a strike. She can take the lead.
Unbelievable.
Looks like a pin was shooting back across. Head pin off the wall, but it didn't make it.
Did you hear your grandfather say, unbelievable?
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. Look here. Look how far inside she is. In between the 3rd and 4th arrow. Arcs this ball all the way out to 5. And boy, I mean, it made a turn back to the pocket. She's going to a ball here that doesn't hook. She got her spare ball out. There it is. Right at it. She's just now getting better at that.
There's Gary Feldman, her grandfather. And last night, Gary was wearing this. Michelle Feldman, that's my granddaughter. He's a proud grandfather.
It's a great relationship they have. It's so fun to watch them.
Hope you're enjoying the action at the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour Finals. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour Southern Virginia Open.
There's something that really surprised me when I got the stats from Dan Howe, our media director, who incidentally we want to thank. He's done a heck of a job. They'll be leaving the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour here after this tournament. He's done a heck of a job. There's Dan right there, and he's done a heck of a job for the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour. But he informed me that she only had 2 300 games. But this ball roll, look at that strike power. How, Jan, can someone with that kind of strike power only have 2 300? That really surprised me.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. But, you know, she's young, Fred. She's only 21 years old.
Yeah,
you know,
I keep
hey,
forgetting
they'll
that.
come. Yeah.
I think they're all old like us. Or me, I should say, not us. Excuse me.
Oh, you were my partner. Oh,
Yeah.
Let's get someone else. No. Michelle's trailing by 10 pins. If she strikes in the 9th, we have an even match. Beauty. Now, was that another ball change or the one she had tried?
The one she tried,
she made
she
a
just
move.
bumped it to the right a little bit. It went long the last frame when she tried it when it was away to break, and then she moved it right and revved it up, but it didn't hook as much, so she feels as though she could hit the pocket.
Gutsy move toward the end of a match, but I think she felt she had no options.
She didn't feel comfortable, obviously. When you don't feel comfortable, make the move. Don't throw 3 and 4 more frames without, if you feel inside that you're not very comfortable. Jackie finally got that corner down on this right lane. She left that 10 pin on this right lane, I believe, 3 times in a row. And she finally got that 10 pin down.
You see it set it up. It's all even. They both have strikes up. Michelle Feldman working on a double, though, so pin count could affect her more than Jackie on a single strike.
This is a key shot right here for Jackie here in this match to put the pressure back on Michelle. For this lane condition, it's just not a given that a player will get right up there and strike.
She's going to put the pressure on her, but she cannot shut her out.
That was a gutty move right there, wasn't it?
She goes off the sheet. She could shoot 198, and so can Michelle Feldman.
It's in between that 2nd, 3rd arrow. And you know, last time she went high. This time she said, to heck with it. I'm getting it out to the right. 10 in the pit. Watch this. Oh, yeah, look at that smile. Yes. She knew it when she let it go. That was a gutty move. She moved to the left. She arced the ball out around the pocket. Let's see if she can do it again. So what happens a lot of time, you move in, you throw the good shot, you say, well, I'm going to get it to the right, and then you get your arm out early, and you go to the right early with your arm. Well, if your arm gets out early, the ball's going to go left. Just remember the rule. Arm out, ball left. Arm in, ball out.
Well, Michelle's going to need the first strike. If Jackie spares here, Michelle's going to need strike 9 spare to win by 1 pin. A 186, score of 186 for Jackie Mitskavitch. Michelle Feldman stepping up now, must strike on this first ball.
This is one of the big shots of this young lady's career. And there's Carol waiting, patching that thumb up, just keeping herself busy.
Waiting to see who she's going to bowl.
Look at this roll.
Oh.
Wow. What a roll she put on that shot. That ball was high flush for the money.
Look at her face. She still needs at least 9. Here's that shot.
Well, crossed at about 14, got out to about 7, and then just turned and went dead flush, turned left, right over top of the 5, right over top the 8, and look at this. Yes, get out of there. All right. She's a good gutty player. She fires up when she bowls. She comes to play. She comes to win.
That'll do it. Look at Gary. Oh.
Boy, is he happy for her right now, huh?
Boy, she has to feel good right now.
She strikes here. That's a 5-bagger on the end of a game, which she was lost. That's really showing something about a 21-year-old to have the presence of mind to change equipment, make the right adjustment. She kept herself calm. Her mind was calm in the heat of the battle. We know a lot of times that's not easy to do. That's a fill shot. That didn't mean too much to her there.
Grandfather's very happy. Michelle Feldman defeats Jackie Mitskavitch. Coming back, we're going to see the Cavalier Cashers. Bree Dugan just missing out. Would have been back-to-back shows for her. And Lisa Wagner, boy, a great week. Top 5 all week. Look for her to light them up next week.
Marianne DeRupo in 11th place, having a fine year. Shanna Ray, who shot 300 a few weeks in Omaha, in 13th.
Brenda Norman took a week off but came back strong. And Rachel Perez back in the finals, finishing up 16th.
And the great Kim Adler in 18th place. And the other half of the Dorin sisters, Kathy, in 19th place.
Our highest amateur, Karen Stroud, making back-to-back cuts. And our lone lefty in the field, Alita Sill, bowling well.
And Laura Moriarty from the Daytona Bowl in Daytona Beach, Florida. And Lil Johnson added again in the finals week after week.
Another amateur making the finals, Amanda Keller and Chrissy Stewart shot the only 300 this week on the TV pair. And there's that trophy that Carolyn Dorin-Ballard wants to take home, as she said in the open of the show. In match 1, Kris Hall defeated Wendy Macpherson Papanos 197 to 163.
And in match 2, Kris Hall and Jackie bowled their match at 206 to 202.
Jackie Mitskavitch won that match. And in match 3, Michelle Feldman defeated Jackie Mitskavitch with strikes in the 8th, 9th, and 10th, 196 to 186. Michelle Feldman now moves on to take on the hottest hand on tour, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. As we move around that beautiful trophy, we see Michelle Feldman and Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. They're ready to start the championship match. Don't touch that remote. Stay with us. It's going to be a great one. Michelle's going to start the match. It was Carolyn Dorin-Ballard's choice. She chose to make Michelle start. Michelle would have to bowl the 10th frame last for the title. Lane breakdown, pretty even for her.
Michelle had 2 strikes in 17, 3 on 18. This is power against accuracy. There you see the power right there. There's no doubt who the power player is here today.
Carolyn going to step up right here. Top seed, as you said, 4th consecutive show. She finished 5th, 4th, and 3rd. She said, hey, she qualified in those 3 positions in those weeks, and now she said, I skipped 2nd, so I'm skipping 2nd here.
Pole vault that 2nd place. Ringing 10 on a great shot, as you can see. Now she's out and going up, straighter up the lane with that pure shot right up through. Michelle's left, arcing the ball. Contrasting styles, that tells us something. When you in this game, play your own game. You can see her average this week, 217.77.
Nice average, just barely below Jackie Mitskavitch.
I think earlier I said nobody could average over 215, so those couple made that not a true statement. And just watch this game here. Don't get much better. 5-step approach, slide that left foot, push away on 2, full arc swing, good knee bend, that arm come up through. Look how loose the swing is. Just recoils up and back. It's real free from the shoulder socket. That's one of her strong suits, such a free swing, and her accuracy.
You mentioned our media director earlier, Dan, how I also want to thank him from the players for the good job he's done for us out here. You know, he's the one who works with media, and we had some media out here this week. Sports writer Al Milley from the Danville Register, he actually came and bowled the Pro-Am.
Well, he said he had the time of his life bowling that Pro-Am. First time he'd bowled in 35 years. As we were talking, you could see she threw that ball a little left of the target, threw it right through the nose. It was left of the target, threw it up toward the pocket, trying to go for that axe, trying to freeze it there, and it flipped over on her. She's lucky to get out of the 610. Now she'll move to the extreme left. Gets this spare ball out. This ball does not hook. You see this ball here. I love to watch this thing roll. You can see right through it.
The weight block in the middle.
Yeah, that ball just slid down the lane nice and straight with pure accuracy.
And back to that sports writer, Al Milley. He said he just loved it. Hadn't bowled in how many years, Fred?
35 years.
35. So see, come on out and bowl the Pro-Ams. They're a lot of fun. Great second shot. And if you want to bowl those Pro-Ams, the next one you can come out and bowl will be in Goose Creek, South Carolina, while Alita Sill attempts to defend her title as the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour returns to Goose Creek, South Carolina. Join all the ladies pros for the Berkeley Invitational at Royal Z Lanes, July 20th through the 24th with the Pro-Am Sunday, July 20th. Stop by for a chance to bowl with the pros. I'll be there. Come on out.
Here comes this power shot again. Look at that ball roll. That is turning it loose and letting it eat those pins up.
And Carolyn knows she's going to have to strike, but she's defeated Michelle Feldman twice. Perfect timing for that stat. 235 to 224 and 244 to 214 in match play.
You know, Michelle throws that big hook ball, and then when it gets out of control, it can leave some designs down there.
Artwork, we call it. Right?
Artwork, okay. I like that. Straight up the line, right into the pocket. Let's see, she's totally right. Let's get back after it here. She's focused.
That focus we talked about. She's talking to herself right now.
She started out bowling real good early in the week, and then she dropped down to 9th. And Jan, a few years ago, if she'd dropped down, she wanted to bounce back. Well, she just bounced and clawed and fought, scratched her way right back to the lead.
And she'll have to bounce her way back in this match. She trails by 22 pins through 3 frames. On a strike now, though, could cut that lead deficit, actually, to 12.
Spreads that pointing finger. Spread that finger out for them little hands. Spread that pointing finger out to get a better grip on the ball.
Oh, and we've seen a few of those today. Wendy Macpherson Papanos leaving 2 of them. Kris Hall leaving
shot
1.
Right straight up the 10 board, just pure accuracy and roll, flush in the pocket, right 9 in the pit. How does that happen? That is unbelievable in our sport. Come on, she's saying.
She's normally mic'd. She normally wears a mic, but she opted this week not to. I don't know if that was a little bit of superstition. Hey, I haven't won. Let's take the mic off, see what happens.
Nice accuracy roll on that spare again.
Now, you saw the deadwood in the channel. She was able to shoot that spare with the deadwood there because it was not going to affect the shot. It was not near where the spare was.
One of the corner pins on Jennifer.
Right.
Corner pin, then we said timeout. Let's get that pin out.
Exactly. Third appearance, record 1-1.
She put it out there right. Slide it back to the pocket. Look at that angle eventually. Look at the velocity and hook power this young lady can create. That is unbelievable kind of power right here. Look at this ball out as far as the 5th, 6th board, turning back. Look at the arc. Look at that ball go through those pins. Wow.
Carolyn just looking down. If you want to adopt either of these ladies, you can get information on our adopted row. Michelle leads by 32 pins right now, working on 4 in a row. You mentioned only 2 300 games. She's off to a great start here.
And a little short. Oh, and it held pocket. She knew that. See there? She knew. She laid that ball a little short, a little left of the target, and it held pocket. That's what those powerful strike balls can do. They can strike. Now we got to see if Carolyn can carry the corner pins here and get a string going. She has to start striking now to apply some pressure back.
She has one title from this position, Lady Ebonite Classic back in Columbia, Tennessee. That was the night we had an ice storm. Delayed the tournament for several hours. She came up
on that shot. She just pulled right out of her finish position and skidded that ball down the lane, hit that oil slick, and never got into the good roll because of the pull up at the foul line. You can see right here. I don't know if she lost her footing or what happened, but she pulled up a little bit right there. Never quite got the good roll on that shot.
Almost made it back. Difficult spare here, 2, 4, 5, 7. Covered it nice, and I mentioned adopting a pro. You can adopt either of these ladies. If you can't get enough information on your favorite Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour member, then join the Adopt a Pro. For $20, you receive a color glossy photo as well as a mini biography of your favorite pro. For information, contact Gail Ramsey, P.O. Box 34, Byers, Texas, 76357. It's a nice packet. Pick your favorite bowler and adopt them.
Oh, that's a nice addition to the LPBT package out here. Concentration in those eyes. This shot. It just never turned over. It went right by the pocket, hit that little carry down. So today, the power of going around the carry down, the lanes were oily, the lanes was slick, so the power is holding pocket and revving up and getting big pin carry where the straighter shot is not grabbing the lane surface. 7 years on tour, you can see.
7 regional titles, 2 national. Well, Fred, she said it in the opening of the show that she did something she didn't think she could do on this condition when she saw some of the way the players were playing, meaning exactly that the players that could open up the lane were scoring better, and yet she was able to lead the tournament. She's very pleased with that, and it's a great week for her.
She should just be very pleased with herself, making 4 shows in a row. You know, the record is 6, held by Lisa Wagner, Nikki G, Carol Giannotti. They've got 6 shows. Carolyn's got 4. Just keep making those shows.
Well, and there's still half a match left. Anything could happen. Michelle Feldman has the front 6.
Unbelievable strike ball, this young lady. One of the best roll strike balls I've ever seen in the history of our sport right here. This is Carolyn's ball going down the lane. You can see now it's starting to make the turn, and it just comes a little light, 2, 4, 5. Now she's farther left going out around, and today the tilt and rotation and power and torque is in command.
Well, she has a 59-pin lead. And this looks like, right now, Fred, what she had yesterday. She said to us in the interview, hey, I had the whole lane.
She said all I had to do is anywhere between 20 and right and just arc it and let it roll hook. And what's happening is that carry down is holding her ball from hooking early so she can get it off and just lay it off her hand nice and clean. And then it skids on the hill and then just flips into the pocket as it gets down there by the pin triangle.
Well, Carolyn's still fighting right now, needs to strike. Oh. And what else can happen?
She's really got to be dejected. She's been bowling so great for 4 weeks, and to not have a title has really got to be working on her. Let's see if she's going to move over here. Look at her. She's still focusing, though. The pro that she is, look at her. She's focusing. I will make this. Watch this shot.
Look at this.
Yes. Oh. She had the presence of mind, though, to go ahead and move over and give that split a go. It'd be real easy just to get your opponent's got the first 7, and you haven't been able to throw a strike. She's got 1 strike in the 3rd frame.
Exactly. Look, her average on TV, 208.85 for 21 appearances. That's a nice average to carry on television. Seems like she's kind of been snake bitten. The players usually bowl a huge game at her, as is happening right now. But hey, she's going to, again, she has to feel good about the fact that she feels she scored great on a condition that was not her best condition.
Hey, what happened? So what's going on here? She is bowling tremendous. So, you know, just keep bowling good every week and every week. There's little hills and valleys about winning that happen in sport. Who knows why?
Michelle Feldman, ball change, was probably the best I've ever seen on television. She really had nothing, Fred, through the first 7 frames of her first match.
And she did that in ways away at breaking and left the 2-8-10.
Exactly.
And then had the presence of mind to move her feet about 4 right and her eyes 4 right and get into that track a little earlier. That is good thinking at 21 years old.
Well, Fred, normally we would have taken a break about 3 frames ago, but we are not going to leave with 8 in a row here. Michelle could shoot a 300. Oh, that's 9.
That kind of a strike ball, just look at this move pins. Look at the revolutions on this ball. Look at this ball revving. Watch this. Just hit him, spin, and just move pins everywhere. And look at this reaction from this young lady.
Yes. She says, okay, thank you very much.
Give it the high sign. Yeah, finally allowed me to throw a double.
She can't be very happy. You have to feel.
Well, it's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's very difficult to bowl as great as she's bowling and to make 4 telecasts in a row and then to get here and things just don't quite happen right for you.
And it happens every week to someone out here, so unfortunate, but that's the way it is. I mean,
make that show every week. Let it happen to you every week, and then once in a while throw a win in there.
Right.
What a great shot. Look at that. That's apropos to the way this has gone for her today.
Well, no woman bowler has ever shot 300 on television. Not on the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour, anyway. Could this be a first?
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you, I'm just, you know, as I said a little earlier before this match started, it just amazed me when I looked at the stats. When we got him from Dan, but this young lady's only had 2, even though she, as you alluded, she's only 21 years old. She's very young. She's going to have a lot of them with that strike ball. Let's see what happens here in the 10th. What's going through her mind right now? Look at her closing her eyes.
She's thinking about her shot as Carolyn finishes up here. Score of 183 for Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. Fine week for her, though. And that second. So that's 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd for her, Fred. We got the big one coming up next week.
See if she can just get her mind reset. Let's watch these shots. That ball turned through that pocket and just nailed 10 pins in the pit. You can't do it much better than that.
Oh, my. We could have history right now. History being made by a 21-year-old.
He can't believe his eyes.
She's laughing. She goes, I know she can't believe it either right now.
She took a deep breath there. She's going through a routine. She's pretty savvy, 21 years old. Hold it. Okay, one more time, young lady. You brought it this far. Do it once more.
I can't speak. I don't know what to say, Fred. Sit back and watch.
Goosebumps, I'll tell you that. I've got the goosebumps.
They're scary if you heard him. Come on, Michelle. One more, girl.
Tears flowing. Look at the joy in this building. Can you believe it?
Oh, good.
Grandpa can't even get the granddaughter right here. There's so many people down there.
She's surrounded.
Unbelievable.
This is how it happened. Oh, granddaughter's getting in.
Raises arms, the champ.
Ever.
And as the celebrations are occurring, this was the shot.
There it is. Talk about power. Look at the revolutions. Look at this thing. Hit those pins light. And just threw the rack at the 7, and there it goes.
There it is again, folks.
Look at this. And just tap the bottom of that 7 and flip it out there. For the first 300 by a lady ever in the history of national television in our sport.
And we will be back to talk with that lady. Do not miss it. And then the presentation of the check and trophy.
I'm going to get some calls with some company.
There she is, the first woman bowler ever to shoot 300 on television. Michelle Feldman, our champion here. And here's the shot. This is what did it. Michelle, call the action for it.
Well, at that moment, I just wanted to say, don't yank the ball and go through the nose, because that's what I normally do when I get nervous. And I thought, oh no, it stood, it fell, and I closed my hand and I said, oh, thank you, God.
Here's another look at it. There's that 7-pin. Watch this last second.
Oh no.
And the audience goes wild.
Chico jumping there, huh?
And Michelle, how do you feel? Got to tell us.
I was really focused on winning. I had no idea I was going to even bowl 300. I'm lucky to bowl 200 sometimes on TV because I'm so nervous. And I just kept telling myself, don't be nervous. This is your 3rd time on TV. Come on now. You're a veteran, as Jan would tell me now. You can do this. You're not a rookie anymore. Take your time and make a good shot.
And you certainly did. I'm not giving any advice anymore, no.
Michelle, how will you get ready now? This is a big day for you here. And we have the biggest tournament next week with the AMF Gold Cup, shooting 300. Do you think you can calm it back down for next week? What will you do?
Actually, I'd like to go to Busch Gardens tomorrow. It would calm me down a little bit. But I just want to bowl good next week. That's my main goal, and I just try to keep focused like I did this week, and hopefully I make the show next week.
Well, young lady, I don't think you'll ever have to worry about bowling good the way you throw that bowling ball.
Well, stay with us because we'll be back with the check and trophy presentation to this lady, Michelle Feldman, in just a moment. And what she's been waiting for, Jeanette Goodson from Dan River Inc. with the trophy.
Michelle, what can I say? After all that, here it is, honey, and it's heavy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, and coming in with the check, Robin and Chico Valenzuela, the proprietors here at the center.
Congratulations, great game. Perfect. Ending. So great week. I'd like to congratulate you on the Southern Virginia Open.
I want to thank Chico and Robin for the great party they threw earlier in the week. And the whole staff here, my caddy, Kayla, she did a good job for me this week. And I had a good time, and I'm definitely coming back next year.
I'm not surprised.